The local bow shop, well, it's a dying breed, with big retailers making it harder for small local businesses to thrive. But Mike Ruse, owner of Mike's Archery, is excelling. His shop is located in St. Peters, Missouri, but Mike has customers as far away as Alaska asking him to work on their bows. He understands archery and he knows how to treat people. And recently, Mike made some big changes that resulted in a lot of pounds shed and his ability to draw his own bow bounce back. Sit back, listen to Mike's why for taking charge of his health and his thoughts on how a beginner can pick up the right bow for them. Are you ready? Episode 7 of the Fit to Hunt podcast, powered by Wilderness Athletes, starts now. Hey, man, how are you doing this evening?
Pretty good, pretty good. Staying inside for today.
It is absolutely brutal outside right now.
Yeah, I got up this morning, had a few jobs to do. It's like, oh, I'll just take an extra shirt if I get all hot and sweaty. I ended up having to go back home, take another shower. Yeah, that didn't work out too well.
That didn't work out as well. I got to think with the season looming that the shop's starting to get busy, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we can work 10, 12 hours a day if we felt like it.
Oh, my gosh, man. So I think that you've taught me that little trick, though. The biggest tip is to don't wait until the last moment to get your bow in for some maintenance.
Yes. Everybody thinks like that last week, the week before season you're busy. No, from 4th of July on, we're busy.
It's moving.
And parts are harder to find. Everything's, harder to get.
Right.
Companies are sometimes sending you wrong stuff. Every second counts from here till, November 1st is what I say.
Right. Well, you got some good employees in there. So that kid of yours is doing a great job.
Yeah, I'm blessed with that. They do pretty good.
That's awesome. I told you last week when I came in to drop my stuff off, and so he's like a little mini mic there. He's sitting here working, but he's talking at the same time. And I'm like, I know that. I've seen that before. So you've taught him well, is what you've done.
I tried.
Yeah?
You've got boys. You know how it goes.
I know exactly how it goes, man. But, the biggest thing is, maybe not the last time I walked into the shop, but, come in a year or so ago, then I come back in, I'm like, hey, Mike looks a lot different. Man, you've lost a lot of weight. So talk me through that. What was the deciding factor in you getting in shape?
I'm getting older.
Yeah?
One group I hunt with is about 10 years younger than me.
Okay.
And then some other guys I hunt with are about 10 years older.
Uh-huh.
Both these groups have some pretty active guys. And you know how it is, the weak length always gets cold. And my kids, I had kids late in life, so I wanted to be able to not be the dad sitting on the chair. I wanted to be the active dad.
Right.
And I just saw my lifestyle, I couldn't do what I wanted. So started going to the gym, lost some weight, changed my eating habits. And, that was part of it too. During busy season, that's where it all started. Oh, you just stop and pick up fast food on the way home. Then you pick up breakfast on the way in. That doesn't work very well. Change my diet. That's pretty much how, I lost the weight, and then just, trying to go to the gym every day. And once you get addicted to that, it's an easy lifestyle to maintain. And, when you go do some work on the farm, you can, I'm 57, I can still do stuff. Right. I can hang with those young guys. It's just a blessing to be able to keep active.
Right. And when you started changing your nutrition or how you ate, was it as simple as I just cut out the fast food stuff? And then what was the main thing that you started that kind of was a catalyst to getting that ball rolling?
I like to cook. And, I also, just started reading a little bit, and I cut out most of the carbs.
Okay.
Carb, sugar, I love to have a dessert at night, It's hilarious. So like I'll have cheat days, and my friends they laugh. Me and ketchup are close friends, but that is all sugar. It's like crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Give me a
Yeah.
little thing of ketchup and some potato chips or tater tots. Yeah, yeah, I'm off the reservation there. But it's just, you know, and somewhat meal prepping.
Hmm.
I'll make my lunches. You can, yeah, you're going to get hungry during the day at work. You can control what you eat,
Right.
and then, you know, just trying to plan ahead a little bit more.
Well, and me knowing you, I know that you do other things besides the bow shop, and I know that bow shop's open from about 10:30 in the morning until 6 p.m. This isn't like you're just laying around with nothing to do. I mean, you're a busy guy in general. So
Yes.
fitting this in, are you doing the workouts primarily before you go to the shop, or are you doing them after you close in the evening?
So I've switched around. Like right now, we're going after work. Uh, the nice thing about that, like I can go hunting and
Right.
still meet up with my workout partners. Because we meet at like 6:10.
Hmm.
So we can all meet up. We used to go in the mornings, and you know, I didn't mind it, but I prefer the evenings.
Well,
Gives me mornings to work
you mess
basically.
around, right? But you just said something right there that I think is powerful. You talked about your workout partner. So who are these folks that you're this
So that is critical.
right?
Somebody to motivate you.
Hmm.
I work out. I don't know how old he's. I tease him, tell me 75. He's at least 73.
Okay.
Um, the dude, I mean, he's ripped, and he's been working out for a long time. Um, I look up to him. So he's a self-made man.
Okay.
Probably retired when he was 55, and he always told me, "Give yourself 1 hour a day." He goes, "You owe yourself time because I mean." Working hard too. I've got 1 hour to clear my mind,
Hmm.
talk with him about things, and it just if I don't work out, like say I'm off on vacation a few days,
Right.
I miss it. I got to go. I try and my wife she gets mad at me. We work out in the evenings. Oh, we got dinner plans. Like I'm not going. Or I'll meet you later. You've got to do it. You've got set time aside for yourself. And then when you just look at older people who are still functional the way you want to be,
Hmm.
I want to be like them. I
Right.
don't want to not be able to go do what I don't want to have to sit in a chair, not be able to climb a mountain, not
Hmm.
be able to climb my tree stand.
Hmm.
I want to live life.
It's funny. I was at the gym. I was working out the other day. I wasn't training. I was working out, and there's this gentleman that was kind of leaning up against a bench. So I'm thinking to myself, late 70s, early 80s. Walked past him. I said, "Hey, are you okay?" And he looks at me and he said, "I'm 92 years old. I'm just catching my breath." Now, he looked great, right? And so I started talking to him, and I was telling him about a client that I used to train that was 94 that played golf, and we just kind of engaged in that. And he's like, "Yeah, I can't play golf anymore, but I still shoot trap." And I said, "Well, that's awesome." And he said, "And my son shoots trap, and I'm not going to let him beat me." And I went, "That's even better." But then I started thinking about that. If he's 92, just kind of doing some quick math in my head, how old is his son? So, I mean,
Yep.
that's generational, right? Of people who are taking really great. He looked great. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have guessed 92 years old. And he was sitting there doing squats and walking on the treadmill and all that stuff. So, what's your go to? What do you like to do in the gym?
Oh boy. So I
Yeah.
just follow my little buddy around, and
Okay.
we got some machines and exercises we like.
Yeah.
We've got some I hate. There's certain leg ones that I hate,
Right.
but you got to do them. I guess you got to keep your core and all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
going. But like, so my shoulder, I have bad shoulders. There are certain exercises. So I'd have a hard time sleeping at night,
Mm-hmm.
and we found some shoulder exercises. And when I find those, holy cow, I can go to sleep. I can sleep all the way through, and it just kind of I don't know what machine it is. You got pulleys on each side and you just pull across like
Coming
this.
across. Yeah.
Oh, and that just worked tremendously. And then when you lay on it and then you pull the barbell thing up to you,
Sure.
that stretches out my shoulder well. Those are the things I like.
So not only have you lost weight and you've gotten stronger, but you've actually helped reduce pain in your shoulders by
Oh, yeah.
more mobility. Which for in your line of work, I mean, you like to you like to shoot bows, so that's pretty important if you can't draw them back, right?
Well, and that's what, I couldn't shoot for like 5 months.
Really?
And, you know, after going, I thought I'd get back in it a lot faster. It's like, oh, I remember when I was young, you
Right.
could break a bone and 8 weeks later, you're back to
Yeah.
doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh no, this being older and healing, yeah, 5 months. And then when I could shoot again, I wanted to hug
Right.
the fella. I mean, that's nice.
That's
And
awesome.
that's still when I can do something that I couldn't do for a while. I get excited.
And that's, again, when you talk about that addiction or that drive, you want to go back and do it. I think that's why I tell people a lot. I said, if you're exercising just to lose weight or lower blood pressure, that's great. But most people won't do that. But like, I've got a guy, he's a golfer and he's 69 and he's smashing the ball 300 yards down there. He comes back every time. You are drawing your bow again. That's going to keep you coming back every time.
Oh yeah.
So with your poundage, have you had to adjust your draw weight
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit? Like up
Oh, yeah, I
or
had to go-
down? Where are you right now?
So I can shoot 60, 65 pretty easy now.
That's good.
Where I was having a hard time with like 30.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
Wow.
It felt like you were just stabbing a knife in my shoulder. And it's not my
Okay.
it's not my pulling one, it's a holding one,
If you're holding
which
it,
is
brace the shoulder.
kind of weird.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. I am so happy for you. Like I said, I came in and you're always so busy when you're in there. It's hard to have a good conversation about that, but you've done well. So congratulations on that, Mike. That's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome, man. So let's segue into that bow thing. So I was in Florida this summer and I was talking to this guy who he was a big saltwater fisherman, but he lives in Texas and he's like, I want to get into bow hunting, which, if you don't know or have someone to walk you through that process that's knowledgeable, that could be daunting, I think. So like for a guy that's just, it's the first thing, what's the first thing in your mind that you think a person should start to consider when they're going to start looking for a bow?
Oh boy. So the way we start the sale process is first figure out what you're going to do with it. Hunting, target shooting, what kind of hunt you're going to do.
Okay.
And then we like to sell you a bow, something we service. There's certain bows out there after 5 years, you can't get parts.
Cool.
So there's a lot of guys who, keep a bow 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
Most people don't ever, you can always get strings and cables, but say you need to change your draw length, you're getting older, you're putting more bend in your arm. There's a few things, or, you drive over it with your car, you break it.
Right.
There's a lot of them you can't get
Right.
fixed now, and people get upset. Now, the companies that do build the parts for over 5 years, they cost a little more, but you know what? You can get your bow fixed.
Sure.
And we tell everybody that. Make sure wherever you buy it, they're going to be able to service it. Things like that. We get a ton of people in, they'll buy something and the place they bought it won't touch it.
Right.
We sold it to you, but you're done.
Right.
Just find a place to be in a business a little bit. Got a good track record, and and the other thing is too, like fitting. I'm critical with fit, but the problem with fitting, you can't just come in once and say, bam, we're done. We'll give people, like, if they're brand new, we tell them we'll work with them. We'll give them 3 free refits. If I can't get it done in 3 times, there's a problem.
Sure.
Generally, we had some people kind of abusing that a little bit. 9 times out of 10, I get you done in 3,
Right.
but some retired people, they thought it was fun to come in every week, spend an hour. It's like, hey, we're done. That only included this, but and it's a little bit trial and error too.
Right.
We'll change something, go shoot it for a week. If it shoots better, fine. If it doesn't, come back. We'll remember how we had it, or
Sure.
record it, and then we can put it back where it was, or try something different.
Sure. So like,
You
you talk about, the more expensive bows, and you're absolutely right. So if budget is conscious, if let's say someone's just starting, I know what we started with my kids, right? With that particular brand, and it's worked amazingly well. So are there options kind of along the way here, or do we have to jump into a really expensive one to do what you're talking about?
So you don't, and that's, I try and tippy-toe around that question. I try and feel somebody out, and then I flat out say, what's your budget?
Right.
you know,
Right.
and then jokingly I go 20% over that. But so modern bows, you can get darn good, reasonably priced bows. Our most affordable package now. Now you get the bow, the sight, the rest, the quiver, the arrows, and the release. I don't play around. It's everything.
Sure.
$650.
Sure.
And that will kill deer all day long. You know, I had one guy come in. This was fun. You know, he's like, we're going down the path, and he's like, budget's no option. And then he goes, but I'm going to throw it in the back of my pickup truck when I'm done hunting every day. I was like, well, we're selling you the cheapest thing we got,
right?
Because you're going to be breaking bows,
right?
And he's like, that's fine. And you know, he started laughing. He goes, and we ended up selling him a lot of bows. This was like 25 years ago. He goes, everybody else tried to sell me $2,000 bow to throw in the back of my truck, and you're selling me the cheap one. That's why I'm going with you.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too, though. So like our package, it's a little bit more than some, but you're getting good arrows. The arrows are the part that do the job.
Right.
I'm giving you, you know, what I consider a good arrow, what most places consider, you know, way above their average arrow.
Sure.
So you need good arrows, you know, and it's American made stuff. You're getting an American made release. They have a fantastic warranty. You know, we could save another $5 or $6, but for $5 or $6 more, you get something we trust.
Right.
The rest is one we trust. The sight's one we trust. You know, there's a lot of good equipment out there. But yeah, you need to get something adequate. You know, you can find cheaper packages, but I prefer to sell quality.
So like and what we've done with both Jack and Justin is exactly what you just did, right? We got the package. When it comes to other gear, I mean, so like sometimes I get overwhelmed just with hearing my buddies talking about stuff like that. I mean, and some of these guys are changing stuff out every year. You know, is that necessary to change things out every year?
So you want to do your maintenance,
right?
You are religious with maintenance. You do a very good job of that. Most people don't.
Okay.
Most people wait till something breaks. Some of them, when you wait till something breaks, that's going to cost you a lot more. Some of them you're not going to find those parts, like I just said, you know. But you know, when certain things break, that's bad.
Right.
Do your maintenance. So that's what, you know, I've been really busy. And when I press a bow, you know, a lot of the ones that have been neglected, I got to press them more because that old stuff has stretched so bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's getting ready to go. Crossbows, that's a whole nother ball of wax.
Right.
But if you do not do one of those properly, you will have failures. You can get hurt. But, you know, I'm going down a tangent there about the maintenance.
Sure.
But you don't, you know, that's, we go to sales seminars. You know, I had a rusty sight on my bow once, and they're like, never have rusty stuff. You need to change your stuff every year because that way you can sell. I'm like, this works. It's worked for a long time. You know, I don't need to do that.
Right.
You know, it was 20 years ago, we were making leaps and bounds. There were some massive, you know, technological increases. You know, like right now, the arrows are what's increasing most. There's still good rests now. You know, you can get, I tell people, keep a bow 3 to 4 years, then kind of come in and, you know, you can always come in and shoot one. Bring your bow in. If you're thinking a new one's going to be better, we'll let you shoot it. If it feels better till you buy it, if not, take the old one and keep killing with it. But do your maintenance.
Sure. That's awesome. So here's a question, because you've done this a long time, right? And so I see things where, you know, people are shooting 30 arrows a day. You know, some aren't even touching this stuff. Like to get efficient, killing whitetail. Let's just use that for example. How much do you practice?
Oh, not near as much as I should.
Right.
We used to shoot 3 to 4 nights a week.
Okay.
My son, when, you know, so he's 20, he's at that age when he can do a lot of practice, and he'll shoot, you know, 2 to 3 nights a week.
Okay.
Or not nights, but 2 to 3 times a week. You know, for some people it's social.
Right.
But that's another thing. You know, the older bows, oh my goodness, you got to practice a bunch to stay proficient. Now, pretty much anybody, if you shoot once or twice a month, you can kill at 20, 25 yards pretty easy. Right. The bows have inherent accuracy built into them now. And if you're semi-athletic, most people can, it used to be you could hit a paper plate at 20 yards.
Right.
Now most people can hit a softball at 20 yards,
Right.
not practicing a whole bunch. I do encourage practicing,
Sure.
and that's another thing. So practice in your hunting environment.
Mhm.
Everybody stands at the range and shoots 20 yards standing.
Mhm.
If you don't practice shooting down, you're going to have some surprises.
Right. Right. I went on a lot of failed recoveries with friends from individuals that didn't practice going down. It's different, exits, entries, all of that stuff. It's a game changer. So,
well, and even shooting at like when my kids were young, we shot at deer targets.
Right.
They could punch paper all day long. There was a circle, you shot the middle of the circle. Deer don't have a circle.
Deer don't have a circle. No, not even a little bit. So you've already answered this question for me, though, and I've already known it. But, the thing that separates your shop from, I'm just going to say bigger retailers is exactly what I think you just described. How far does your furthest customer drive that you know? What do you got?
Oh boy. We got them coming. We had one guy moved to Alaska. When he'd come through, he still comes in.
Still comes through.
We had Colorado Mike. Colorado Mike would send stuff to us, and when he'd be in town, he'd pick it up.
Right.
Yeah, there's and that's the thing too. Find somebody you trust,
right,
who you can get along with, and if they keep you happy, keep using them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with archery too. There's many different ways to go about it. I do it my way. It works for me. Some other shops do it a little different. That works for them. You just got to find somebody who's going to help you get accomplish your goals.
Right. That's awesome, man. Well, hopefully people are listening to this podcast from all over the place, but for those who are in the St. Louis area, how are they going to get a hold of you?
We're in St. Peters, right off Highway 70. We're easy to find.
Right.
Mid-Rivers Mall Drive exit. We're at 18 Main Street, St. Peters, Missouri. We don't have a web presence. Like if you look on Google Maps, it's Mike's Archery, but my real name is Mike's Bait and Tackle because 36 years ago, I started off with that and then got the archery stuff.
Right. If I remember right, the last time I was there, though, you took the bait and tackle off the window. It used to be there.
Yes.
I remember seeing that.
Yep.
Someone asked me that question, too. I think it was Jack. He goes, "Where's the bait?" I said, "Son, I don't think there's been bait here for quite a while. I think it's pretty much just archery."
Yeah, my father passed away, so we got rid of that bait fast. That stuff, it stunk. It died. You had to get up early. Yeah, we got rid of that pretty fast.
I think bows have a little bit higher margin anyway. So anyhow.
Oh, yes.
Michael, you've done very well with your health and fitness. That's the kind of stuff that fires me up. So keep that stuff up, and I really appreciate you coming on tonight.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for the plug.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Yep, sounds good. See ya.
Mike really does provide excellent customer service, and I just enjoy going into the shop to hang out. If you're in Missouri, consider visiting Mike's Archery. You will not be disappointed. And if you are nowhere near Missouri, well, I hope you find a shop like Mike's to work on your bow. Fall planting season is coming in hot. I was on the farm last weekend spraying some plots and making plans for August. And this year, we're going to be planting hitless seeds, no-till blend on our farms. And we are really excited to get these seeds in the ground. Tim, who runs Hitlist, has compiled some incredible blends that not only feed your deer and turkey, they improve soil health too. You can check them out by visiting www.hitlistseed.com and use promo code FTH10 to save 10% on your order. Well, that's going to do it for this month. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed it and can use these conversations to improve your own health, fitness, and outdoor adventures. Have a great day, my friends. And as always, you stay fit to hunt.